And from then on, that really kickstarted China fully joining the globalized trading system. Yeah.
We took almost 10 years. And when I was trade minister, I was very involved in that, not directly, but indirectly. China acceded to the WTO under more exacting terms than any other country which joined the WTO. I know the people who were involved. Bob Zoellick, Pascal Lamy, and they were negotiating for the US, for America. Japan had its interests. Other countries had their interests. And they were all afraid that China will swamp them with cheap manufacturing. So they gave China developing country status, which China deserved. But there are all kinds of constraints. They didn't recognize China as a market economy. After China joined the WTO in Doha, I was there. Xie Guangsheng, Long Yong-tu, they were all there. Everybody clapped. The following day, Taiwan also joined. It was part of an agreement. A few years later, Singapore, New Zealand, Chile, and Brunei established the TPP. I met Xie Guangsheng. I said, why don't you join the TPP? He said, China already gave in so much. So when people today say that they should not have allowed China to
took advantage and
they didn't realize that they pushed China to the limit for its accession to the WTO. No one knew, not even China, that China would continue to grow steadily over the next 20 years. So that by the beginning of COVID, at the end of 2019, China's economy had grown 7 times in PPP terms, 9 times in renminbi terms, and 11 times in US dollar terms. So China became very big. And during the global financial crisis in 2008, the G7 could not create sufficient global demand. So the following year, Gordon Brown hosted a second meeting in London. And then all 20 countries agreed to coordinate fiscal and monetary policy. And China introduced a 4 trillion yuan budget. And after that, I read the report. In 3 years, China poured more concrete than the US in its entire history. China was building everywhere to spend. It helped. So the global recession was shorter than it would have been otherwise. But it created enormous distortions in China. And it took China many years to smoothen out those distortions.
Even until today.
Even until today.
Yes.
So part of the property boom had its origins
there
in those days. But China also developed infrastructure. I went to CHANG in 2009. And before I went up, I called on the vice president, who was Xi Jinping. He said, it's good that you're visiting CHANG. It was after the Olympic Games. And I was the first foreign minister to visit CHANG. And then they brought me to a Nongming house. Then on top was a satellite dish. It says, donated by the State Council and the Communist Party. I said, this is part of the 4 trillion renminbi budget.
The satellite dish is for TV? What was it?
Well, to receive satellite communication, television, radio, whatever.
Oh, okay.
But China was spending. And China could spend at the time. But China's economy at that time, I think it's 1/3 China's economy today. So today, if there's another global financial crisis, without China, the world will go into a deep recession. And US Treasury knows this. So even under Biden, Yellen was very careful to keep links with China, with Wang Qishan and so on. And Wang Qizhen, because they knew that if there's a crisis, the US and China have to work together. And the US knows that the position of the US dollar as reserve currency requires China's cooperation.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感。 而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美一点。美吧。